All right, let's get right into it. We are counting down the world's most powerful military forces for 2025. And believe me, as old rivalries get deeper and alliances get tested, this whole balance of power is shifting faster than ever. So, let me ask you this. If you wanted to predict the future, to really see who holds the cards, where would you look first?
You're not going to find the answer in the stock markets.
And nope, not in the election either. You'd look straight at the militaries. Because while money can buy you a lot of influence, it's armies that have always and will always shape history. So which nations have the power to defend, to deter, or even to dominate the globe? Well, let's find out.
So, our countdown is going to start with what we're calling the strategic contenders. Think of these as formidable, regionally focused powers that absolutely pack a serious punch.
Kicking things off at number 10, we've got Italy. Now, its power is all tied up in its role as NATO's southern shield. And here's a kicker. While Italy doesn't have its own nukes, it actually stores American B-61 nuclear weapons. That fact alone gives it huge strategic importance. But its real strength? That's its navy. We're talking a genuine blue water force, led by the Cavour aircraft carrier, built to project power all across the Mediterranean and way beyond.
Sliding into number 9 is Turkey. And the thing you have to understand about Turkey is its unmatched modern combat experience. Seriously, its operations in places like Iraq, Syria, and Libya have not only battle-hardened its massive forces, but have also supercharged its own domestic arms industry. They're gunning for 80% self-sufficiency, and they're already pumping out world-famous gear like the Bayraktar TB2 drones and even developing their own stealth fighter. Coming in hot at number 8 is Japan. Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, how can a country whose constitution basically forbids it from going to war be this powerful? Well, the answer is one word: technology. Japan has quietly built one of the most advanced defensive forces on the entire planet, with what is arguably the world's most sophisticated air defense network. You add a top-tier navy and the 50,000 U.S. troops stationed on its soil, and what you have is a true technological fortress.
At number 7, we've got France, what I like to call Europe's silent juggernaut. See, France doesn't play the numbers game. It focuses on precision, speed, and most importantly, autonomy. It punches way, way above its weight, with elite units like the Foreign Legion, a global network of bases, and, this is crucial, its own independent nuclear deterrent. We're talking a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier and even developing its own hypersonic missiles. And cracking into the top half at number 6 is the United Kingdom. Here's the puzzle with the UK. Its army is actually shrinking, but it somehow maintains this incredible global reach. So, how does it do it? Through its network of 117 overseas bases, which is second only to the US. That massive footprint, combined with 2 huge aircraft carriers, a fleet of stealthy submarines, and a powerful nuclear arsenal, makes Britain a true global network power. Okay, let's keep climbing the ladder, because this is where things really start to shift. We're now entering the realm of the high-tech war machines. These are nations defined not just by their power, but by their massive industrial scale and technological self-reliance. At number 5, we find South Korea. Living with the constant threat from the north has forced South Korea to become an absolute military powerhouse, and it's done it all on its own. I mean, look at this. It produces what many say is the best tank in the world, the K2 Black Panther. Its K9 Thunder howitzer completely dominates global exports. This isn't just a military, it's a world-class, high-tech arms industry. And at number 4, the rising giant, India. India is often overlooked in these conversations, but it is a true great power. We're talking about the world's second largest army, 1.4 million active troops. But the really critical point here is its capability. India maintains a full nuclear triad. That means it can launch nukes from land, air, and sea, a capability that only a tiny handful of nations on Earth actually possess. All right, deep breath, because now the stakes get way higher. We are moving up to the superpower titans. These aren't just regional players anymore. These are the primary challengers for total global military dominance. In third place is China. And yeah, its force of 2 million active troops is just immense. But China's real power, its true strength, lies in something else: its unmatched industrial capacity. Its military is modernizing at a pace the world has literally never seen before. And this slide says it all. China's shipyards are pumping out warships at a speed the United States simply cannot match right now. Now, to be clear, the U.S. still leads in terms of tonnage and high-end capital ships like aircraft carriers, but China's sheer volume is fundamentally reshaping the naval balance of power as we speak. At number 2, we find Russia. Now, despite staggering, almost unbelievable losses in Ukraine, Russia remains a military juggernaut for two big reasons. First, its wartime industrial production has cranked up to Cold War levels. And second, its forces, through brutal trial and error, have become the most combat-experienced military on the planet. That raw experience, combined with its sheer size, keeps it locked in at the number 2 spot. But let's be honest, Russia's ultimate trump card is this: its nuclear arsenal. With roughly 5,500 warheads, it is the largest on Earth, and its strategic forces are almost completely modernized. When you're talking about raw, world-ending destructive power, this gives Russia an edge that no one can afford to ignore. And that brings us to number 1. And here, we're not just talking about powerful anymore. We're talking about dominant. This military is in a league entirely of its own. First, just try to wrap your head around the budget. Nearly $1 trillion. That is more than the next 10 countries on this list combined. The financial scale is it's without precedent in human history. Next, think about its reach. 877 overseas military bases. This is the largest global military footprint ever assembled, period. It gives the United States the ability to project power anywhere on this planet, at any time it chooses. And finally, force projection. 11 active aircraft carriers. That is more than the rest of the world has combined. Each one of those is a floating piece of sovereign territory with an air force on its deck more powerful than what most countries have. And that is why, for the foreseeable future, the United States remains the world's undisputed number 1 military power. So there you have it, the global power ladder. We've climbed all the way from the guardians and veterans of Italy and Turkey, through Japan's technological fortress and India's rising might, to the very top with China's industrial titan, Russia's nuclear sledgehammer, and America's unmatched global dominance. The world's military balance is clearly shifting under our feet. And the next decade, well, it may very well reshape everything we thought we knew about who holds global power. The real question is, how will this new balance hold?